Pursuant to open meeting, I hereby call this meeting to order. Pursuant to open meeting law, this meeting may be recorded for transmission on both Berlin Cable Television Access Channel and YouTube. Your voice and image may be recorded. Okay. So, starting with the minutes, which I had lost in my email and found again, and seemed fine to me.
I move we accept
Any-
the minutes as written.
Okay, I second that motion.
Yay.
Take that as a vote. And Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay.
And I accept them as well. So the minutes are passed. So let's see, we did hear since our last meeting from the chainsaw guy, and I think we got that email, a couple days after we met last time, and he had said that he had not been able to get that to make contact with the school. So I believe, checking back at the minutes, we did vote to reject the grant last time, but I don't think we made plans to send out the rejection letter yet. But
Okay.
sounds like he's not going to be, or trying to get it to appeal that. So I suppose we can send that out just fine. And did we
Sounds good.
hear anything more on Kirk Whipple and
Nope.
that?
Pat never called me back. I know I spoke to you about it briefly, MJ, so let me did I talk to you about it when I came for the signature?
Briefly, yeah.
Okay, so he responded back to my inquiry that
Yep.
that they were in the process of searching out people. I finally made contact with Pat, told her what was up, and asked her that when he did make contact, could she please apprise me of the conversation? And so since she did not call me, and I'm assuming there was no email
Right.
this week, did you look at the email?
Yeah,
recently?
I looked at it before we started, and I didn't see anything new
Okay.
in regards to that.
All right, so then I would say it's pretty safe to reject him in that he responded back to my email, said he was going to do it, didn't do it. I told, talk to the cable people, and they were just waiting. I told her we needed to, she could just email us a statement that they were willing to support it in some way. And we did not get that.
I agree at this point. I mean, it's an awful lot of money also that we can find, I think, more appropriate
homes for it.
uses for.
Okay, so I'll make a
So-
motion that we reject that application on the grounds that he did not follow the rule of getting a sponsor in the town.
I will second that. Jess, yay or nay?
Yay.
Or
Rejecting
yay
it.
to
Yes.
rejection?
Okay.
Yeah. Deborah, yay or nay?
Yeah.
And I also vote yay for rejecting that application. That covers that. So that leaves 2 applications rejected. I believe it was 5 of them that we took care of last time in terms of funding them to the full amount because there was not any additional request or any
They didn't
wiggle
have
room on
additional
them.
expenses.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So we did vote on that, right? That we
Mhm.
were fully funding Link, Meredith Charles, the 3 senior programs, and Alan Johnson.
Yes.
I thought summer brass we left, oh,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
So,
I
summer
thought summer
bra-
brass was still up for tonight to discuss.
yeah, I think it was just the Link, the adult improv, and the 3 seniors. The summer brass did have room where we could give them more money if we wanted to.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't have them on the other side. I had 2 columns and I hadn't moved him over to that other side. Okay.
I think it was
So-
only because he does have more expenses than what, not that we necessarily should give him more money, but that program actually has more expenses than what they
Okay.
asked for.
All right. Yeah, I just want to get all these written in so that I know what
Do you want
money.
me to give you the list?
I think I have it. I just was clarifying. So I have Link.
Okay,
I have Meredith Charles. The 3 senior, I'm trying to find them on the list as I'm talking, the 3 senior programs.
Yeah, there's Seacoast Stompers, Memory Lane, and Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, so those are the 5 that are the full amounts. Okay. All right, and I'll move him over to this consideration page. So that adds up to a total of $2,530 for those 5.
okay, what was that?
$2,530 for those 5 programs.
Okay.
There are, well, we'll play that game later. I was going to talk about the Berlin money and the,
Right,
that can be something for later.
And we have, since we gave for the 150 we got back from last year, we put towards the other one, so that still leaves us working with 6,400, and what was it, 2,530 that we
Have definitely granted, yeah, which then left us 3,009. Oh, wait a minute, no, sorry, I was playing another game, never mind.
so according to my notes, we've got to decide on the Assabet Valley Master Singers, the David Bates, the fox hunting, the summer brass, and 19 Carter.
And
Is
the,
that-
and the hip hop thing.
yeah.
Oh, right. I keep putting that out of my mind.
No. And looking at the money, if you add up what they've requested, I should have brought my, do you have a calculator there?
Yeah,
Okay, because I can go grab my calculator. Oh, I got my phone, never mind.
yeah, that's the calculator I'm using. I used to have this wonderful graphing calculator that I only really used for simple math, and then when COVID came, I decided to wipe it with a disinfecting wipe, because I figure I'm using this all the time. After like 20 years, finally killed the calculator. I was very sad.
Oh,
That is sad.
I should say I used it for simple math, and the one program I'd have into it was like a random number generator for making trivial decisions and such. Do I order this thing I was thinking of for lunch or that thing I was thinking of for lunch? Like, I have one on the phone, I have one on the computer, but it's nice to have one on the calculator that wasn't relying on the internet or any. But not enough to spend another $100 on a new graphing calculator in my 30s.
They're expensive.
Yeah. I would have thought they would have gone down in price in 20 years, and they really haven't.
They have a captured market with the high schoolers
Yeah.
and college students.
Okay, so here's where we are with that. 2,530 is the amount for what we have said we are going to fully fund. Fully funding everybody else except for Assabet Valley. I left them out of the equation. That's an additional $2,655. When you add that,
I'm sorry, can you say it again? 2,000?
sure, 2,655.
Okay, thank you.
We do Davis Bates, the North Bridge Hounds, 19 Carter, the dance program, and Alan Johnson at the full amount that they requested. That's 2,655. So when we add those two together, that's 5,185, which leaves us an additional 1,215 to distribute for additional expenses to all of those, and also to make a decision about Assabet if we want to partially fund them or not at all. Did those numbers come out the same for you, MJ?
I'm not getting quite as much. Is it possible that you still have the Kirk Whipple in the equation?
No, let me go back and see if I screwed up. Does the first number jive with you, the 2,530 for,
That drives.
okay, so now I'll go back and I'll redo it with 475 for Davis Bates, 500 for the Hounds, 1,000 for Carter,
Oh. Yeah,
right?
no, I think I typoed. Yeah,
380, 380 for the music dance program, and 300 for Alan Johnson.
And Leslie Havens just rolled over. Plus
Yeah,
we
wait
gave
a
the
minute.
additional.
So mine
money.
didn't come out
Yeah.
right again. All right, let me try this again.
no, I had typoed before, so I'm getting 2,655.
Okay, good. I'm going through it again because it didn't come out right for me, and now I did it again, and it's 2,655. So when you add 2,655 and 2,530 together, it's 5,185. And when we subtract that from the 6,400, right? We have 6,400.
Yeah,
It gives us 1,215 left to spread among the others
Okay.
that had additional expenses.
and for whatever we give to the Assabet Valley.
Yeah, do we want to discuss that first before we start
Yeah.
moving money around?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did we already, had you already asked them about about the tickets, or are we making that contingent on if we give them money?
The plan, I
in
think,
the
is
letter.
to make a contingent that when
Okay.
we give them when we send a letter saying that it's been approved, that the letter will state that the approval is contingent on the tickets making it to 19 Carter.
Okay.
So if the ever elusive tickets actually show up at 19 Carter, we give them whatever money we now agree that we'll give them, and then if
Okay.
they don't, then they are out of luck.
I would be willing to give them 150. And see if they actually make sure our seniors get the tickets this time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking around $100 to give to
Okay,
them.
that'd be fine too.
So same thing, 100, 150. And I guess the next thing is, do we want to put an amount on the number of tickets that we expect for the people in town? I mean, we're
So
not,
were they saying their concerts were like $20 tickets?
let me pull up I'll pull up the thing. 'Cause I think they were our very first one on the panel.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off when you were starting to express something.
No, I'm just saying I'm gonna pull it up to answer that question.
Yeah.
What is the cost? 25 for adults, 20 for seniors and students, free tickets via the senior center, free streaming when applicable. So they're going to do they've already started in December, it looks like.
I don't think they've ever indicated how many tickets it would be,
Mhm.
and where we've never received them. That said, I think it would be a little complicated to try to demand a specific number. I mean, at this point, if we're looking at only giving them 150, I'd be willing to just sort of,
I
you know, if they, even if they only gave us two, like, not the two complimentary tickets they've been giving us, but if they only deliver two tickets, so I would still be comfortable giving them the money, maybe not giving them money next year, or setting
Right.
stronger conditions next year, but I'd rather kind of just play it a little more loose this year and see how they react to that.
I think it's a good year where we can actually see how they respond and
Yeah,
how generous they are or aren't. And, we can make our decisions going forward then about them.
yeah, yeah.
With,
I
to
think
see
at
whether
this
they
point
actually make it
where
something.
we have the money too, that I'd rather give them the rope to proverbially hang themselves than to try to put too many conditions on it.
Well,
So we
I
can,
mean,
in the letter, ask for the tickets, in the letter, ask for the tickets to be sent to 19 Carter and put the address there for
Yeah.
the seniors to have access. Because usually they mail the two complimentary ones to us at the town offices.
will Evie know what those are when they come in?
I can talk to her about it.
Okay.
That's not,
And I've given them to her before.
Okay. So she'll at least have an understanding of what they
Yeah.
are and not
well,
just think they're just
I mean, I
some,
don't think
so
it'd be
that way we know
inappropriate
what
to
comes
tell her
in.
that. Yeah. Well,
And-
I don't think it'd be inappropriate for me to just tell her, hey, we granted them money under this condition,
Yeah.
let us know if you get the tickets from them or not.
And it'd be
I
good to
think,
know if they choose to send more tickets or not too, or if it's just the same two, which
Yeah.
is not particularly
well,
generous.
I mean, in theory, it shouldn't be the same too, because the two we get are not, they may think we have a senior center, but the two they're sending to us clearly, those are not meant to be that. So,
Okay.
but yeah, but I would, reach out to Effie about it.
Okay, so do we want to move to grant them $150 with the,
Or we could make the math easier for ourselves and do 115. And then we have 1,200 left
Yeah.
to,
well, the math is going to get funny anyway.
okay.
If you want to wait and see how we play it.
Yeah, why
because
don't we,
I did go through and look at everybody's additional expenses
okay,
and what we can grant money for and not grant money for. So if we want to look at that first and then adjust accordingly.
Yeah, why don't
Yeah,
we look at that first?
Okay,
But I would pencil in 150 for now.
okay,
I think that's a good amount.
with the contingency.
Very important contingent.
Okay. So did you all look at the additional expenses?
I will
the-
confess that I forgot
I've
about our
got-
meeting until my alarm went off at 6:40.
It's okay, I'm happy to tell
Well,
you what they
we
are.
appreciate that you had the alarm.
Yes, we
We
do,
do.
otherwise we would not have been a quorum. I would have had to bring my cat in.
Unfortunately, I don't think we would have time to get the select board to appoint your cat. I mean, I personally would be happy, you know, if they sent the letter asking our opinion on having the cat, I would, you know, be in support of it, but unfortunately, these things take time.
Yes, you're right. I had forgotten about that we wouldn't be able to get him a proper appointment. Oh. So I can read off the additional expenses if you guys
Thank you.
want, okay? So Davis Bates,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he asked for $475 in the grant, and he was going to donate an in-kind donation of $250 for his travel and marketing expenses. And there was one other thing. So he was estimating that his additional expenses to his program was going to be around $250. So
Okay.
that's something we can play with for him. The Old Northbridge Hounds, they had additional expenses of 85 that the two women proposing the program were going to donate of their own money, and then $50 for water. But we cannot give them, one of the rules of the money is that you cannot use it for food or drinks. So we can add an additional, up to an additional 85 for them. All right. 19 Carter, they asked for 1,000, but they have a huge list of additional expenses. And one of them that we had talked about last week was offering a certain amount of money to have reduced costs for the tickets. So I think we have some flexibility in how much we'd like to give them additionally, and just put in that we are donating that or putting that into the grant for them to reduce the cost of tickets to people. The dance program, they had an additional $180 for that the parents of, they must have kids who come, because it's like the dance parents, it said. And it was an additional $180.
But isn't it virtual
I don't think so.
or are they
I
being
think
allowed
that
in? I'm sorry.
You know, that's a great question. I hadn't even thought about that, that I know she was,
Town hall's shut to,
yeah, but I'm wondering how they're doing any kind of trainings.
I would
That is
imagine.
a good
Yeah,
question. Sorry, I hate these panel books because you have to scroll through everything. Oh, shoot. I
yeah,
Lost it.
it is not the best setup.
No, I like the paper.
Yeah.
All right, while I'm at Alan Johnson, he was, because I had him in the wrong column, his additional expenses. $2,400 is his full projected expenses. And additional income comes from the kids' tuition. He has 15 participants, it says.
What was that?
His additional expenses,
That's the summer program.
yeah,
Right.
his full program is 2,400. He was asking us for 300, which then drops it to 2,100. And he has, his description of the funding source for the 2,100 is 15 participants at $140 each.
Okay.
So additional money would allow for him to reduce the tuition cost for the participants. All right, so let me get to the dance thing. Which one is it?
So I think, given some of the other ones that we could give money to, I'm quite happy to not throw more money at the dance one. I think it was appropriate given who was requesting it and the money we had to approve it, marginally so. But I don't think
I don't
that
feel a
is
need
a
to.
good.
Yeah, it's hard to tell in the narrative because it says this entertaining and educational video and PowerPoint presentation. She comes dressed as a flight attendant and takes the audience on a journey. Let me see.
I
And they do-
You're bringing up all the
I think worst
reasons
case
why I
scenario,
have so many questions about this program.
Yeah, and it says,
worst case scenario is it turns.
sorry, say it again.
I'm sorry, we were about. I was going to say, I think worst case scenario is we don't give it more money. We go to it when it happens, and we find out that was somehow really way better than we thought it was going to be. And then if it happens again, we're nicer to it. But I can live with that being the case. I am less comfortable with the idea of throwing more money and finding out that it is
What it sounds like.
as yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was an extra $100. For the full cost is $480. They're requesting $380 and $100 from the Music Dance Parent Committee. So,
See, that seems like that doesn't even apply. The way that reads, that doesn't even apply here because it's not a parent committee inviting them to town, it's the police.
yeah, but I think it's referring to, I think there's kids that must come to dance.
That's not how the narrative read, though.
It reads,
Well, I think unless
each, blah, 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 blah.
anyone wants to extend more money, it may be a moot point at this point.
Yeah, it says that at each destination, we explore traditional food, clothes, music, culture, dance, and hip hop. And then,
But yet at the beginning, it said it's PowerPoints and video.
And then there's dance. Here's
But
the
the
other
dance
thing
and the
that
video.
we haven't discussed that I think is very odd. At the very end, the they have local references, and they're all nursing homes.
Right. This brings me back to my whole issue with the whole thing, where this doesn't sound like it was anything really designed to help public safety with diversity. It sounds like it's just a general diversity program that they're using to meet a diversity requirement, which fine, I'm not gonna, if this is what Chief Galvin thinks the force needs, fine, but I don't feel a need to throw extra money at it either.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I understand what you're saying, absolutely. Yeah, it just doesn't, it's odd. It's odd.
Yeah.
I hope it's wonderful,
Yeah.
but it
Agreed.
just, the way it's presented is odd.
Yes.
Okay. We are ready to move on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we
Well,
keep
for
that one, if we keep that one at the requested amount, the 380.
Yeah.
Let me put that in.
Would you like me to make a motion?
Why don't we play with the numbers
The numbers
first and
first,
then
okay.
make the motions afterwards?
Okay,
I
so
think that would be,
leaving that at the 380, that still leaves the 1,215 to put between everybody else. And also
minus the 150 that we've got to,
if we're gonna, yeah, we have, we never subtracted that. We held that because we wanted to
Yeah.
play around with the rest of the money.
yeah.
Well, I
Would
think we should,
everyone tentatively? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Davis Bates and the fox hunting, I would have absolutely no issue funding them the extra money. So like the 250 for Davis Bates and the $85 for the fox hunting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Davis
Well,
Bates,
I was about to say that at least with the fox hunting, so,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
I feel the same way with Davis Bates, adding in his additional
Yeah.
money. So that would take
Okay.
him to 720. I mean, we can always subtract if we go over. That would
Yeah.
take him to 725, and it would take the Northbridge Hounds to 585. All right, so now we got to do some math on that.
yeah. With the 150 for Tiasabet, that would leave us 730 to play with by my calculation.
and
730, is that what you said? Tell me
Yeah.
how much.
having been a parent whose kid participated in the summer brass program, it is a wonderful program. The bulk of the participants are not from our town. Some years there are no participants from our town. So I would be certainly happy to throw some extra money at them, but I don't think it needs to be a ton of money. Like, I think
Okay.
if it's a couple $100, that helps cover their rental fees for the building, and some more expenses, but I don't think we need to really add a whole lot more
Yeah.
than that. Whereas something like 19 Carter is directly a bunch of people from town.
Okay, so if we have 730, we could give Alan Johnson $230 more and 500 to 19 Carter, an additional 500.
That would work
Yeah.
for me.
If we did that, would we want to place conditions on it, or, I mean, we don't have to place, we could just give 19 Carter the money without saying, reducing ticket price. I mean,
I think-
that's a method
yeah.
we could try, but I don't really think every stopping anyone coming in that can't afford it to
And
begin
it's been
with,
such a
so.
brutal year for them I don't think, I mean, in future years, maybe if we run into this situation again, but this year I have personally no need to
Yeah.
tie conditions
Yeah,
to.
well, I mean, usually we are unable to fund them
Right.
anywhere close to
Near.
what they ask for. So this is the one year that we can do
It's
more
probably the one year
and
they
other
really
people
need
can.
it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it is for people in town, really. I mean, this is not serving anyone. I mean, it serves other people, but it really serves a lot of different people in our town, so.
All right, I'm doing the math and seeing how we did. All right, here it is. Nope, screwed up somewhere. Let me try again. Please be right. I'm still off. Where did I not add that right? So, do you have everything written down for me to go through with you? I just want to make sure I got the
I-
numbers right. So
think-
Assabet Valley 150,
Mhm.
Yeah,
Davis Bates 725. I think I'll add these
Yeah.
as we go one more time.
So wait, Davis Bates is, oh, yes, sorry. I'm a little slow. 475 plus 250.
Okay. And then Link was 655. And Northbridge Hounds was 585. Meredith Charles, 625. There it is, Alan Johnson. I didn't put in the right amount for him. We added 230 to him, right?
Yep.
So that would make him 530. Okay, I think that's my mistake. And then Berlin seniors are 400, 350, and 500. And 19 Carter is 1,500. And the dance thing is 380. Come on, baby. Yep, we got it. That's what my screw up was.
All right.
Okay.
So shall I make a motion?
Before we do that, I just wanted to discuss in terms of most years we're, sending out rejections, then waiting a bit and meeting, and this year it's kind of gotten jumbled. So I just want to what kind of go over what sort of timeline I mean, it seems with that we are pretty solid in the two we're rejecting and why, and at least for the chainsaw one, it would not seem that he would come back, but just do we have a strategy in mind in terms of when we're sending out do we want to send out the approvals at the same time as well and just kind of hope
Can't.
all
You
are
can't. You have to send out
Yeah.
the rejections and you have to wait 2 weeks from the date of the postmark before you can send the acceptance letters out. Because they have 2 weeks from the date of the
Okay.
postmark to challenge it. So if these letters can
Okay.
go out early they have to go out by the 13th. What's today, the 5th? So
Yeah,
they have to be out no later than next Saturday, postmarked. No
Okay.
later. So they can go out this week, 2 weeks, we wait, and then the acceptance letters can go if there's no
Okay.
challenge.
So I think in that regard, then whatever motions we have needs to have some level of conditionality on it so that should any of those be rejected. I mean, if none of them are rejected, we shouldn't need to meet or anything like that, or not reject, unreject but I think if we solidly give them all the money and then for some reason got stuck back dealing with one of those, we would be in a slight procedural problem if we
Well,
definitively given away all the money.
we'd have to go back and redistribute if they had a valid reason why. I mean, the reason that they're being, well, we know why both of them are being rejected, and
Yeah,
they don't have an argument to that. There's no argument that
Yeah.
we contact them. It was not our responsibility to contact them.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't foresee there being any issue. I just,
Well, we could certainly put that in the wording of the motion. Then
yeah,
it's not a big deal.
yeah. Okay. Okay, that concludes my little tangent.
Okay, so MJ, do the motion.
Okay, do we want to do one for each, or do we want an omnibus motion on all of them?
I vote for omnibus motion.
Okay, then I move that we give $150 to Assabet Valley for conditional upon the tickets getting to 19 Carter. That we give $725 to Davis Bates for his program, $580 to the Northbridge fox hunting, $530 to Summer Brass, $1,500 to 19 Carter, and $380 for the police diversity training. Conditional upon no other claims of money being brought back home.
Okay, I will second that.
Okay, Jess, yay or nay?
I'm still typing yay.
Okay, Deborah, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, and I vote yay. So motion passes, and in theory, we have spent all the money.
Okay, so now we have to take a quick look at the money in terms of the distribution because of the June 30th fiscal year money. So when the letters get written, I am thinking that some of them may have to say, and I'm going to have to look at this a little more carefully and see how I can play with it to do that. The senior citizens have two that are supposed to happen before June 30th. 19 Carter, we could technically give them a portion of the money from MCC and a portion of the money from the town. And that may add up
And
to
I
the
believe,
correct amount. I'll have to look at it more
and-
carefully.
yeah, Evie was saying when I talked to, oh, we have Karen. Promote to panelist.
I hope everything's going okay with her and her mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Am I back or am I not? Oh, never mind. Here I am. There you go.
there you are, Karen.
Yeah, she was discharged from rehab, so she's living with here with us. And so it's like now we're fully in charge of her until we can get her into assisted living. So like, yeah, and which is what I've been doing this evening. Sorry, kind of attending to her needs.
That is quite understandable. I certainly well remember the time commitment that involved when I took care of my late mother and grandmother.
Thank you.
Oh. So yeah, we just finished distributing the money, and or the amounts, and we're talking about where it was coming from, town versus the state money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And-
Deborah, I was, Evie was, I think, saying they were going to start doing some outdoor concerts in May was the plan. So the concerts should, be starting within the time frame where it would make sense to be able to give them some of the money from the town.
Okay, yeah, that'll be perfect. I will, like I said, I'll take a look at the distribution and see how to work it out. It's probably a good time too to let everybody know. I know I spoke to MJ about this already. I had a conversation with the town accountant, and we are not bound by MCC rules in distributing the money that the town has on the warrant for us, that it is money for us to grant out for cultural events in our town. And we can start paying that money out July 1st. So I think that is huge for us, not having to be caught in that little 6-month window, which really messed us up this year because we're even further into it. So I think next year that's really good news for us, that we can maybe come up with a plan on how to notify people in our town that the money is available for programs in the town that they might want to do. Maybe get some of our own local people doing some things,
Yeah.
that they might not have normally done.
Mhm.
That'd be
So,
great.
Yeah, well, certainly this year too, where whatever happens with COVID going forward, it won't be quite the surprise that this past year was, and we won't be going through having our chair moving. We should be in better shape to maybe have a meeting or two sometime between now and next fall. Not quite so frequently. As much as I love seeing you all, I would love fewer meetings.
Mhm.
But
all right. So where are we with this? Do you want me
So
to?
were we at the two senior programs that run before June 30th and the rest of the money that needs to be distributed before June 30th going to 19 Carter?
Okay.
Is that pretty much where we were at?
Yeah, because what
Okay.
I'll have to do,
Yeah.
March 1st, the report has to be in. And in the report, I have to put how much money, well, if we rejected anybody, that has to go in with the reason, and then the amounts of money that are designated for each grant.
Okay,
So since we've chosen to say, for example, if the two senior programs are going to be paid from the Berlin money, I have to reject them in the MCC
okay,
panel.
Oh,
And they get, and the reason being alternate funding, which
okay.
was the whole problem we ran into with Greg Myercheck.
Yep.
So that's why I have to figure that out ahead of time so that it goes into the report. And then as soon as the report is completed, then they release the money to the town into
Okay,
our account.
got it.
So,
Yeah.
That's-
I think depending on how much wiggle room we might have in terms of who that's going to, that it might not hurt to reach out to, say, if that's happening with the senior programs, reach out to Judy and make sure they imagine they will be on track for that. I mean, if it's something where we have some choice about giving more of the Berlin money from 19, if there's any level of choice on who is getting paid out from that we, might just want to double check that
yeah,
they're not
I'll look at all
anticipating any
I'll look
problem.
at all the dates, and I would not want to double hit the seniors if I don't have to. Maybe just put one of
Yeah.
their events, because they did last year, they did lose Berlin money for one of the events that had to be that couldn't happen. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at the Davis Bates one. Oh, these things drive me crazy.
But in any event, that's something think we can all trust you to make the final decisions on.
I'll figure it out. I've done it a few times. It's
Yeah.
sometimes it can be interesting, but it's just a matter of which account the money gets drawn from.
Yeah.
And if that's not a problem on our end, the problem is the justification in the report
Yeah.
to the state that has to be right.
And so I think the other thing is just, do you want me to write the rejection letters, or did you want to write the rejection letters, or?
I have them all on the computer. I don't mind doing them if you're fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then, since I have to sign that other letter to Greg Mychek, that if those two can be together, that I could sign all three
Okay.
whenever we meet up, and then mail those out this week.
Okay. Yep, we'll be good with that. So Davis Bates was supposed to originally be February 17th, but he has rescheduled till later in the year. They were looking at April as a potential date. Because I was looking at him for Berlin money, but then if it gets, pushed even further, I don't want him to end up, I don't want to end up in a Maya check again. So I'll play with it.
Well, I mean, we could always, for where we've granted additional money for some of these ones, be a case where we're trying to give the additional money from the Berlin funds as much as possible, and the initial funding for the from the MCC. I mean, I'm not sure if it makes it more complicated if multiple ones are split between the
The only,
say
yeah.
MCC.
The only complication is if they have not actually done their performance or whatever it is by June 30th, they won't get reimbursed. So if I were to take
Yeah.
those little chunks of money and somebody doesn't do their program until August, that Berlin money can't go to
Yeah.
them.
Well, what I'm saying is that if we're in a case where it's looking like we expect they're gonna run, but it's a bit of a gamble on some of them, that we might be able to spread it out by, instead of having 2 or 3 grants being paid by Berlin money, that have, 5 grants partially paid by so have the amount they requested guaranteed by the MTC money, whereas the additional, or some of the additional amounts we were going to give them being in the Berlin money. So if they're losing anything, we were giving them extra as opposed to
The Assabet Valley
actual-
money could go Berlin, couldn't it? Too?
Yes, yes, it could.
They can be totally Berlin.
Yeah, I'll play around with it.
I like that idea.
I was looking at that angle.
When's the hip hop thing? When's that happening?
That was supposed to be this month. So
That could go totally Berlin money then too.
yeah, and I guess that can be something that we can just tell Chief Galvin that it has to be done by
June 30th.
Yeah, by June 30th. It was supposed to be done this month because it was Black History Month. So it was supposed, that's what it said in the application. So.
Well, then this is plenty of warning that it has to be done by June 30th. If they couldn't get it in this month,
yeah,
they should be able to manage that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll look at that one.
That's a significant, so between the two of them, that brings it to almost 500. And 19 Carter,
Yeah.
if they're gonna be running, I think, they can certainly, they'll get a bunch in before
Yeah.
June 30th then.
Yeah, okay. And then the last one,
Yeah.
just to top it off, might be one of the
One of the
cheaper
seniors.
or the lower cost senior ones.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'll take a look at all of those and play
Okay.
the math game. All right, so I will take care of the rejection letters. I'll get them all ready. MJ, hopefully I'll do them this weekend. The other stuff is all ready to go. You just have to sign it. And
Okay. Yeah, and between the two of us, we can work out the approval letters, and so long as there are no unforeseen complications, I think we don't have to meet for quite a while.
Right. How should I handle, because of this, like, the variants and when things are, like the COVID influence of, when things are happening. I'm usually the person that sends out the, breakdown to the webmaster for our site, and I'm happy to do that again. I just need the information about like who gets what and how much.
Well, but once the month is over and we have put that in, I think we'll have as
It'll
much
be in the minutes
information as we're
also.
going to have.
Okay.
And I've
Mhm.
included everything in the minutes that
Okay, thank you, Jess.
we've done tonight.
Okay.
It just, I guess, it won't be official until
Yeah,
the rejection and the acceptance letters have gone out.
yeah,
Oh, so
But
you'll
it-
put a.
But at least the numbers will be in the minutes for you to work
in
from.
theory, we have decided everything.
Right.
In practice, we have left a little wiggle room in the language in case the two we have rejected, they have the right to appeal their rejection, and that we don't foresee any grounds by which they would succeed in that until we are sure that that doesn't happen. We need to leave a little room for money to be able to go to them if
Oh.
were to happen.
but
So
I-
at the end of the month, when we submit everything, it will all be fully official by then. And assuming no further complications, we shouldn't need to actually meet to discuss any of it or to vote any further. The
Right.
decisions have been made pending nothing going wrong.
yeah, and then it's just the bookkeeping. It's just
Right.
filling out the reimbursements and me coming and chasing you down for signatures
Yes.
at your places of work.
Oh, boy.
I'll take care of the letters to the three that we're giving the additional funds to, the rollover funds.
Thank you,
All right,
Deborah.
yes.
All right? Is that,
Yeah.
if I'm on a roll doing the others, I might as well do
Yeah.
those three.
You are happy to write as many letters as you want to. Just remember, you do not have to, and I'm happy to write whatever letters I need to keep you from being overworked.
Quite
Because
all right.
Our
It-
great font of knowledge of our dealings these past years.
It's actually quite easy. You just change the addresses and the dates.
Still appreciated.
These things still take time, even if they don't take,
Yeah, no, I get it. I have the time and
Okay.
that's the nice
Okay,
thing.
you never should feel obligated to take on, more than you're comfortable with.
And I appreciate
Okay, I
that.
think. Oh, I think unless there's anything else, I've been a windbag enough, and it seems like we may need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay. The motion has been made and seconded. Jess, yay or nay to adjourning?
Yay.
Yay.
Okay, Deborah, yay or nay to adjourning? Karen, yay, yay, and I vote
Yay.
yay as well, so I call this meeting
Sure, if
adjourned,
you
and
froze.